Anyway, so we are going to be making the toppers for these. Now let's do overhead. I'm going to show you all the 2 different versions that we're going to be making today. So I've got these 2 right here. Can y'all see those really good?
Beautiful.
Up a little bit more.
They look so good.
Okay, this is our resin one, and then this is one that we purchased from an Etsy seller, and I'm hoping this Etsy seller blows up because of you all. Yes. I feel like that would be a really fun day for them. So I'm gonna show you all how to use resin, how to put the flowers in there, and then how to apply vinyl and then seal that resin in if you want to. So these are just super fun. We have different options here. So these are just some that this is one we played around with. We did some gold flake. This one we purchased and it already had, actually they gave us this one. I think the people we purchased from gave us like a freebie.
So sweet.
And then we got these 2 colors. So this is like a translucent or iridescent type of color. And then we have a gray one here. So all of the links to the supplies that we used are on the supply link page. Let's go to share screen. I want to show you all, this is the close-up of the project actually on the Stanley Cup. How beautiful is that? I love to personalize things. I think that's why I love crafting so much. I just love something that just says, oh, that's definitely like Sadie's cup. That looks like a Sadie cup. So all the supplies you're gonna need are here. Right underneath, we've got our font. You're gonna need resin, the light, everything is here. I saw a couple of you asking which Etsy shop that we use. I'm just gonna click on this Etsy shop to show you all.
Shout out.
Oh look, we have this one right here.
Wait, how much is this?
Okay, so you've gotta pick depending on your size. So make sure that you guys know the measurements of yours. And I think we have the 40-ounce curved and it should be on the bottom. Yours has a sticker and I'm wondering if it's covered.
Let me try to see what I can do over here.
So, and then once you select that, you can get you can get a clear pack of 15 for $13.
$13?
Yes.
What?
So that's less than $1 per thing. And then you can sell them for what, like $7, $8? Easily?
12.
12?
I mean, think about how much you're investing in this Stanley.
Right.
I mean, this is
look,
necessary.
They've got all these right here. You can get packs of multiples and it has all the colors listed here. So they've done all this and you can see the difference between the 20 and 30 ounce versus the 40 ounce. If you've registered and you haven't received your email for supplies, you can re-register.
Or you can email customer support, hi@makersgonnalearn.com.
Yes.
We have a large group crafting with us this week. Even when we don't have a large group, we always have a group.
Yes.
And here on the show, it's just not the best customer care. So you need to take all of those concerns and go straight to hi@makersgonnalearn.com. We pay a full team to run customer care. I just wanted to show overhead of this right here.
Like,
I kind of scraped some of it off. Where's the best place to buy Stanley? Jeannie, I think Dick's Sporting Goods has been doing really good.
Target has them. They sell out.
Now, they do sell out, but Dick's Sporting Goods have had quite a few in.
If you like a knockoff, you can go on
Temu,
DHgate and Temu.
And Temu, they have knockoff ones.
Temus are like $14. We have some back in the supply room.
Do you want to know a secret?
Yes.
So I was very late to the Stanley game.
Me too.
Very late.
I was later.
I saw a different color of this tan. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be my. Courtney got one as a gift, and I just started drinking out of it so much. And once I saw a similar color to this, I was like, I have to get it.
Yeah.
It was sold out everywhere. I had to get it on eBay.
Stop.
I may have overpaid by
I'm sure
a little
you
bit.
did. A lot.
But it was so fun, and I love it.
It's like a game.
I love it.
Back to the share screen. I just want to show you all, a lot of people aren't familiar with how to shop on Etsy. So if you follow this link, it's going to take you exactly here where we're at. So you're going to want to pick your size, okay? Check the bottom of your cup depending on your size. And then you're going to select your color and quantity. And so it looks like this seller mainly sells in bulk, but they have these options right here. So let's say that we wanted to get one of these, let's go over here and look at the solids. So let's say we wanted this hot pink. I'm gonna go to select an option and it says solids.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do one, I'm assuming it's color. They don't have one solids, one color. And then right here it says add your personalization. And then it tells you, it says these aren't personalizable, they're blank. So you're just ordering a blank tag from these people. And you're gonna type in hot pink. and then you would just add it to your cart. Okay, and this shop name is BBJ Craft House. Okay, they've got 5 stars, which is amazing. And lots of the 40-ounce Stanley is a popular size. Christine was asking about the mold. So that's how you would order a blank. Okay, now, if you're wanting to do these out of resin, we're going to go back to the supply page, and I'm going to show you all how you would get the resin mold. Okay, this is also an Etsy seller. Okay, so we're gonna click on this mold right here, and it's gonna take us to Etsy. And this one, so the mold is a little bit more expensive, but you've got to think, you can use this over and over and over again. This is laser cut acrylic. The blanks are laser cut acrylic. This is just a silicone mold that we would add to cart. Make sure you're reading the description over here. There are so many things in the description that can be easily missed. You can hit learn about more. Look, creates a 40-ounce tag. Okay, make sure you're reading the measurements. Make sure you're reading everything over here so you're not ordering the wrong thing, okay? So this shop has lots of other molds that are super cute. And look, they've even got like the Stanley flower topper. I'm obsessed with this.
So
I need to order that actually. That's so cute. And so this one would fit a Stanley cup as well, but you want to double check that it fits the size. This one fits the new H 2.0 Stanley, whatever that is. So you just want to really verify. Okay, so let's go overhead and we'll go over all of the supplies you're gonna need to recreate these. Now, if you're not doing a resin one and you're just doing this one right here, if you just wanna buy a blank and add vinyl to them, which is honestly gonna be your cheapest investment, so you're gonna get the biggest return on, like your profits are gonna be higher, I would just get some pretty blanks. Start out with just a few. Don't get crazy. You don't wanna have a ton of stock on hand all the time. You wanna kind of just have some, see what people want, see what people like about them, and then you can order more as you go.
Yeah.
And you're only gonna need the topper and then some permanent adhesive vinyl. Now we're using Starcraft. We are gonna be doing dainty cuts, so I recommend a high quality vinyl. Starcraft is it for us.
Love it.
I mean, they're like the end all be all. They're so good. If you have Oracal 651, 10 out of 10 recommend them as well. But this is adhesive vinyl. This is not HTV, okay? So we're gonna actually be cutting this. We're gonna have to weed it and then transfer it on with transfer tape, okay? So that's adhesive vinyl. And then I've got some Caesar transfer tape here. I personally love this brand. You can use whatever you've got on hand. So for those, that's it. Now, if you're wanting to make the resin ones, we're gonna be recreating this dried flower one. I'm gonna get these out of the way. So you're gonna need the mold that I just showed you off Etsy. And then you're gonna need some resin. Now this resin is the J Diction. I've got 2 bottles of it in here. We usually buy it in bulk and then transfer it in these small bottles so it's easier to handle. But this is just off of Amazon. This is not a 2-part resin, so it's literally, you just need the bottle, just one singular bottle, and that's it, and you need a UV light. So we've got this UV light here, and this is, I wanna say, it says 85 volt to 265 volt. I wanna say it's a 10 watt.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. We've linked the one that we used. These are like really good, but honestly, if you live in a sunny place and the sun is shining, go outside.
Yes.
UV resin cures in the sun almost instantly, like maybe a minute. Excuse me. So you're gonna need that. And then you're gonna need some tools to help you maneuver the resin. So we've got a blowtorch here. I don't know if you call this a blowtorch. It's like a mini blowtorch. You can find these at the gas station near the illegal paraphernalia.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, you can find them at gas stations, like everywhere. So you're gonna need that. I mean, it literally just puts out a little, it's like a butane lighter.
I really think there's, with all this considering resin is its own genre of crafting, when you consider that,
for sure,
you're really not needing that many supplies.
Especially if you've like already played around with resin and you've already got like, you already have
the blowtorch or the, you know, the different things. So it's really good.
Right.
Can this cause any risk for health while using it while drinking? So it's not actually touching your straw. It's actually not participating in any of the
food interaction.
The food interaction.
Yeah, it doesn't
and you can demonstrate with my cup at any point later. So yay, it's so good. Such a great question.
So Kelsey asks, is it actually a blowtorch or a heat gun? It's not a heat gun. It actually has a flame coming out of it.
Yes.
You can use a heat gun though.
Yes.
We just like to use, the flame is quicker and it just zaps it out. So, and I'm going to show you all how to use that in a minute. I've got some popsicle sticks. These are always good to have on hand when working with resin, so you can kind of move the resin around. There's some rubbing alcohol. I've got a brayer just to put my vinyl on. Sandpaper. I'm going to show you guys how to use that. And then I've got some gloves. You're going to want to wear PPE any time that you're working with resin. Wear the proper PPE that you are comfortable with. We typically wear gloves. If you're not in a well-ventilated area, you can wear a mask. Read the back of the bottle. Whatever the back of the bottle says is what you should do. Okay. And then I've got a standard grip mats.
Yes.
All right. That's everything. Easy enough, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start with the basics. So we're just going to start with the plain Stanley topper that we ordered off Etsy that has nothing on it. We're not going to be doing the resin yet. We're just going to start simple, okay? And I'm going to show you all kind of how to lay it out in Design Space and add your words and things like that. So what we're going to need to do is grab one of our blanks to start. Now I want to talk about this glitter one versus this gray one.
Okay.
What is important about these is that you need to pay attention to the colors of vinyl that you're selecting whenever you go. Is that in the center, Sadie? You need to pay attention to like the colors that you're choosing when you're working with different blanks. Like we're not going to want to use white or pink or yellow on this because it's going to disappear. But like over here on this gray one, we can pretty much do any color except for gray. It's going to show up. So those are things you want to think about when you're working with different blanks. But for Design Space purposes, we're going to want to measure this. Now, this is similar to like a rectangle shape. So I'm going to measure this whole thing right here. This is given like 3 1/4, okay, by 1 1/4. Okay, so let's go into Design Space. So 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so I just went to Shapes, select a square, and then when it comes in, you're going to unlock your shape, change your width to 3.25, and then change your height to 1.25. And let's just zoom on in here, okay? Now, there's obviously a hole here. So let's measure how far down that hole goes from the edge. It goes down almost like 3/4 of an inch, maybe more like 1/2 an inch. So I'm just gonna add a circle. This is just strictly for design purposes. I'm going to make this like, I don't know, 0.25, maybe bigger than that, y'all.
And you're going in depth. Like sometimes I wouldn't even go.
Sometimes people don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't. But this is such a weird shaped blank.
Right.
I just want to make sure that we are like doing it correctly. So you can do it with or without the hole. If you're like, that's too difficult for me, you can always just measure from the edge of this hole right here, like this edge right here, to the end of the blank. I think that'd be easier. Let's just do that. So we're gonna do 2.5 inches, okay? So instead of doing the circle and stuff, just to make it easier, we're gonna change the width of this to 2.5. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
So now we know we can fill up this whole space. And it's gonna be fine.
This is what I like to do.
Yeah, that's easier.
I like to make the shape the size of my safe zone.
Like
yes, I call that
that's
like
a good way to put
zone.
it. Right. That's your, you know that no matter how big you make your vinyl here, it's gonna fit perfectly.
Exactly.
So we have this 2.5 by 1.25 safe zone.
I call this also I consider it like, it's just, you're getting the most for the least amount of time investment.
Right.
Right? Like Alicia can walk you through exactly how to recreate it and build your own, like if you needed to. It's just not required. But
do you need to?
Yeah, it's just not required, which is so fun.
So what I'm gonna do is select it, and we're gonna change this to the color of the blank. So we'll start with the gray one, And then I'm gonna just duplicate it, and we can change this one to either pink, yellow, or white.
Yes.
Just to kind of get a vibe for the glittery one. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna need to download our font. So if you haven't already downloaded your font, you're just gonna need to go to that supply page, and we're going to be using the Celine font. So let's go back up here. This font is one of our newer fonts. It's beautiful, gorgeous.
So good.
And you're gonna find this on the website. If you wanna use a different font, feel free. And we're gonna hit download. That's gonna pop up here into our zip folder. We're gonna click that, and then it's gonna unzip the folder. And then now here, we're gonna double click on that Celine.otf font.
Ooh.
Okay, and then you're gonna hit install. Okay,
Love it.
It's now on our computer, but in Design Space, we're gonna need to go back. So I'm gonna go down here and click on Design Space. And before I do anything, I'm gonna save my project. So go up to the top right and hit save. And we're gonna title this Stanley Toppers. I'm gonna save this to my project, Stanley Toppers. And
So
then
fun.
hit save. And then in order to get that font into Design Space, we're gonna go up here to View and Reload.
Yay.
And then now, when we go search for Celine, it's gonna be there. It'll be right there. So I'm gonna zoom back in. And if I'm ever too far away, y'all get on to me. I work from far away.
Yes.
It's just a habit. Okay.
Beth says, I literally looked through every single font last night for the perfect one.
Oh,
Yes,
I love
Beth,
it.
love it.
Beth, we're soul sisters. I do the same thing. I'll look for fonts for ages. It's a bad habit. Okay, or a good habit. I don't know. Okay, so my text box kind of went down there to the bottom. I'm going to zoom back in. And then now we can change the wording to whatever we want. So I want to say this gray one is for Courtney. Now let's change this font, okay? We're gonna keep your font selected so you'll know it's selected if you have this bounding box, okay? And then we're gonna go up here to this font drop down menu. So I'm gonna select right here. And when you initially open it, it may be right here, but you can move this around so it's out of the way of where you're working, which is amazing that Cricut has done this for us. And so what we're gonna do next is go to our system fonts, because Cricut fonts are from Cricut.
Yes.
System fonts are in our system. So I'm gonna go here and let's type in the name of our font. So we're gonna be using Celine. I think this name is really long, so I'm gonna tell you guys what I think about it. We're gonna select it right here, and look, you can see that Courtney changes right away. Now, what I'm gonna do is resize Courtney down. Make sure your font is locked. If your lock looks like that, and you go in and start doing this with your font, just have me in the back of your brain saying, no, don't do that. Because it just makes your fonts look really crazy. So make sure it looks like this up here, and then resize. Now, in order for Courtney's name to fit on here, let's look at the measurements of this. Look up here. It's 2.1 by 0.6 in height, you guys. 0.6. We're working with adhesive vinyl. Now, if we were working with HTV and we were applying a heat transfer vinyl that already has that built-in carrier sheet, we could totally cut this out and I would be like, no problem. But since we're working with adhesive vinyl, what happens is we go to weed these, like the little inside of the O or the inside of the E, and it starts to pull up what we cut out and it ruins our vinyl. Now, we're working with the best vinyl that there is, so we may not have issues, but what I'm gonna do is cut out one with the font that we want, and I'm gonna pick another font that I think is a safer choice, and we're gonna cut that one out too. Because I'm worried that that's gonna mess up, and it's because Courtney's name's so long. If I wanted to really if I wanted to make it fit, I could change it to Court, and look, we can size it up, and honestly, that would probably cut perfect.
Love it.
So we could do that if you guys want. And then that's like the main thing. You want to be thinking about fonts and what type of material you're using. So adhesive vinyl, it's not as easy to weed as HTV. So just something to think about. So I'm actually just going to keep it at Court because that's cute. That's what we call her. And then for the glitter one, I saw somebody leave a comment. If this was you, I forgot who said it, but they were talking about on the glitter font that we should use a bolder font because it's going to show up better. And that's such a great point. And you can also stack vinyl so it pops off a little bit more. So let's just pull up a text box. Why did my text box keep, there it is. And we're going to add a name here. Okay, let's do, oh, we don't want to put your name on the glitter one, do we? Let's just do Lauren's name. Okay.
So fun.
And then we can shrink this down. Now, I want to use a different font because the glitter, you're going to really want to pick something that's bold. And so this pink one is for our glitter one. So you can use a font that you've already got downloaded. If you're a member, you can get another font. That's a perk to being a member. You're going to be able to just go onto the website and pick out whatever font you want. Something like chiffon would show up really well. That's really fun for that glitter. Or you could do something like Fabulosity is really cute. Super retro. So that's a good option, but you just want to think about your blanks, your colors, and all of the things like that.
So good.
Yeah, and I actually think I like chiffon. We're just going to stick with that. I think that's really fun.
I love the chunky font.
Me too. We actually use this one. No, we use Juniper. Juniper is very similar to this on the Easter egg.
The Easter egg is, y'all.
Iconic.
Can we just talk about, I know, so here at boot camp, we try to do like projects that you could make year round, that not seasonal, but like y'all did an amazing project last week.
Yes.
It was epic.
And everybody's been recreating
you
them.
must go rewatch it.
It's so cute.
So fun.
So we're going to have Lauren's here, and I think I'm going to stack these. So we're going to do like 2 layers. Okay, so we've got some light pink in here, and we've got some light. I'm going to actually change Lauren's to this darker pink. Okay, so here we go. Now all we need to do is hide these. Now if you're doing multiples of the same project, don't delete your squares because we've already measured these out. You know, it makes it a lot easier when you go to cut it and stuff. So what I'm gonna do next, we've got everything here that we need to cut. Everything is sized correctly. That's really wanna make sure you size everything, and we've hidden our squares. The next thing we're gonna do is go to Make It, and then we would just cut these out. Now I can put all of these on the same mat. So I've got Lauren here. I'm going to click on this next mat. I'm going to hit the 3 dots up here in this left corner. Okay, hit that, and we're going to select Move Object. And then we're going to select this white mat. We're going to cut all these at once because it's so small. It would be crazy for us not to. Okay.
Right.
I'm just going to put this down here at the 5-inch mark. We're going to select our third mat. I'm going to hit those 3 dots, hit Move Object, and hit the white mat again. And then we're just gonna put this down here at the 10 mark. And look, we can cut all of these at once. So let's go overhead and put our vinyl on our mats.
So fun.
Love it. So we can we're gonna do Courtney in light pink. So if we go back to the share screen, you can see Courtney is up on the top left.
Love it.
Okay, so we're putting the color we want for Courtney in the top left. And then we've got one of the Lauren's is at the 5 mark. So I'm gonna lay it a little bit above the 5 mark so we've got plenty of room to cut. Burnish it down. And then I'm gonna put this white, which we don't need that much. I'm just gonna trim it off. Cause y'all, these are like teeny weeny tiny. And this one's gonna need to go a little bit above that 10-inch mark. So we're just gonna
I love
right
this
there.
hack, by the way. If you're like, I wanna become a pro, just do this.
Yeah. This will save you so much time.
This will save you so much time cutting vinyl or cardstock or anything like that.
Truly. Okay, and then in Design Space, we're going to hit Continue. We're using our Explorer 3 today, and we're gonna be cutting this on premium vinyl removable mats. Keep it at default pressure. You're just gonna need that fine point blade, and we're gonna go ahead and load this into our machine. Make sure it's under those little lips, and it's gonna scan the mat and then cut it. Beautiful, right?
Now,
okay, so that's cutting, and then we're just gonna weed it and apply. And y'all, that's it. So
awesome.
Super easy. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some transfer tape so we've got it ready. And these shouldn't take but a minute to weed. And then we're gonna get right into resin. So does anybody have, which I think is important for anybody, even if they are regularly using their Cricut, you always need to be refreshing your knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just gonna weed these. Just got a standard weeding tool here. And this is the really dainty Courtney one, so be super careful.
And there's a couple tips that you could do when you are, weeding that. Like I burnish my vinyl before weeding all the time. You could apply transfer tape and reverse weed it.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab this first Lauren. Okay, we're gonna do a little layer in here.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing the first Lauren, and then we're just gonna take it, and I'm gonna kind of apply it offset to this other Lauren to give it some depth. Burnish it down, and then we're gonna take it off. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna add this to our little sparkly thing here. See how much better that shows up, y'all?
So good.
Look how good that fits. Oh no. I burnished it too hard, you guys.
Uh-oh.
Okay, be a little bit less aggressive.
Yeah.
We're just gonna lay it back down, burnish it, and then remove
Woohoo, go
that transfer. Hold on. She's wanting to stick because I was a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah.
There we go. Beautiful. Look how pretty that pink is. So those are the two we just made. How easy was that, y'all?
Yay.
Oh my, this would be a great joy project, Lori.
So fun.
Okay, so there's those two. Let me show them close up, and now we're gonna jump right into resin, you all. Okay.
Woohoo. Are we jumping in?
We're jumping in.
Resin time.
Okie dokie. So I'm gonna set everything
This
aside.
is a perfect Joy or Joy Extra project. Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be making. I'm just gonna leave it there so you guys can kind of have it in plain sight.
Yep.
I'm gonna be using this J Diction UV resin, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some gloves on. We're gonna need this, we're gonna need this. I've got my UV light on hand, ready to go. And I wanna say this is the...
Alicia, throw me this. How much...
This one?
Oh, I'm throwing you a question. I was meaning, I'm gonna throw you a question, you're gonna throw me an answer.
I'm gonna throw it back. I'm so dingy
Tell
sometimes.
me. No, it's literally me, not you. Also, y'all, you're talking about me getting more sleep. I did get more sleep than last night, and I just got a second coffee. I had no idea how many, just second coffee solves so much.
It really does.
Anyway, tell me this. Say I'm brand new.
Okay.
I want the light. I want a bottle of your resin.
Yes.
And I want some molds.
Okay.
How much? I would say under $60.
Oh, yeah.
I would say $40 to $60 can get you started with resin.
Get you a couple basic molds.
Yes, but you're gonna make a lot of projects with that too, which is pretty impressive.
And buy you something that's small, like the Stanley toppers is a good starter, or a keychain mold.
So true.
Keychains always are gonna sell, y'all.
Yep.
Keychains are a good bet. So something small, you don't need anything crazy. You can use an actual lighter. You don't have to use a blowtorch. So you have some of this stuff already. Okay, so to start, we are going to put down a layer of resin. So I've got my gloves on, I've got my UV resin right here, and all we're gonna do, and I'm using this mold over here. I'm sorry it's clear. I wish that you all could see it better. I'll try to hold it up. But what I'm gonna do is put down a pretty thin layer here, okay? And we're just gonna use our popsicle stick to smudge it around, okay? Now they do have resin colorants and things like that that you can use, but these look so cute clear.
Can you use anything other than the UV light? And the answer is yes. The beautiful sunlight you can use. So if it's sunny outside, you can use that. Unfortunately, here in East Tennessee, we cannot rely on that only.
Right.
So we have the light. So it's always loyal. Or if you craft at night.
Right.
Hey.
The sun is my favorite though, honestly. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes if you go to camera one, y'all, I have to literally get down here, and you can see if you've missed little spots. I can see that I need to kind of move my resin over a little bit. And like y'all can't see it from your angle, but if you're working with resin, you'll be able to see it so much better if you get down here at eye level. And then now that it's smoothed out, I'm gonna take my butane lighter and I'm just gonna turn it on and literally, that's it. It's like you're just going very quickly. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our flowers out. I'm just gonna sit this here. Okay, so I've got some tweezers here. I'm just adding in, I'm picking the flowers that
So for our newbies, how much resin do you use? Do you fill it all the way up? Do you not halfway?
I would
what do you like
like
to say?
A quarter for the first layer.
Yeah.
But you want to cover the bottom surface, so you need to cover it, okay? So you want to make sure to cover it, but it also doesn't need to be full because we're going to be putting we're stacking layers here.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be putting a few different layers on. Oh, these flowers are so pretty. I think I want to use like this little Shasta daisy right here. Look how adorable. I'm a sucker for dried flowers. It's like one of my favorite, I don't know, it's just one of my favorite things of all time. And then that one's kind of pretty, but it's a little big. These red ones are kind of pretty too. Ooh. I don't know, it's not fitting the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Okay, so this is my design. It's a little different from this one, but you know, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna turn our UV light on, and I like to hold it directly over it. And this usually takes like 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how strong your UV light is. It's really not. And so I'm just gonna hold it pretty close. You can actually like sit it on there. If you did casting resin, you can use whatever color molds. But with UV resin, you have to have that direct UV rays in order for it to cure fully, meaning it needs to harden. And if it doesn't have the UV rays touching it or getting to it, it's not gonna harden. So if you try to use UV resin in like a purple or a blue or a red mold, it's not gonna work. It has to be a clear mold. So obviously this mold is clear. It looks like it's covered in glitter, but the mold is glittery, like the actual mold is glittery. So yeah, you're gonna want to make sure to do that. And then what I like to do is take my stick. Y'all, it's hardened. It's like magic.
I love it.
It's crazy. So it's crazy. And then, so what I'm going to do now, so this is what it looks like so far, okay? I'm not going to take it out of the mold, but you can see the flowers like are still kind of sticking out, but they're pressed down enough into the resin that we can seal them in. So we're just going to take this resin and we're going to go over top of all of this, okay? And pretty much fill it all the way to the rest of the top, okay? So I'm going to try to be like consistent in my distribution of the resin just to make this more clean, because resin can get like lumpy and gross if you don't have a good like touch to it. So I'm gonna some resins are self-leveling, which is amazing, and some are not. It just depends on what your resin says. This one is like 50-50. I don't feel like it's completely self-leveling.
Right.
Even if it said it was. I don't know that it says it is, but and then I'm just getting the eye level, like I said before.
Yes.
And spreading this out. We want to make sure that our flowers are covered, because if you do try to wash this and the flowers are sticking out.
They have to be covered.
Yeah, they have to.
Yep.
Or it's going to get ruined. So I'm just spreading this out. Now, if you accidentally go up on the edges at all, we have sandpaper in here, so we can sand down the edges, which sounds crazy, but it works great. When I first started doing resin, I was like, you sand it? That's weird. But it works really good. And I can actually put a little bit more on here, but what I'm gonna do is smooth this out. I'm gonna take my torch, cure it, and then do the third layer after I've cured it.
Love it.
Okay. In my opinion, when you do thin layers, it just works better. Like curing multiple layers. If you try to do it too thick and cure it, it won't cure sometimes. So you've got to really pay good attention. Okay. I'm going to sit that right
Any
there.
UV lights will work. It just depends on the stronger the light, the less time it's required. So just think about that when you're making a decision on that. How many nameplates can you make with that size resin bottle?
Oh, gosh.
Brianna, you could probably make 20?
Oh, at least. At
least. Like, it's
With
not
this
much
size.
at all. Yep.
With this size, listen, the limit does not exist.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm going to actually cut a name for this so I can show you all how to apply a name to the resin one.
Yes.
So we're just going to recut Courtney's name.
Okay.
Because you're going to do the same exact thing if you were laying out names for this one. So we're just going to go in here and delete that. We're going to go to make it and then hit continue. We're still using just permanent vinyl. I'm going to use some of this scrap vinyl that we have in here. And it's nice because while it's curing, you can cut your words out. So it makes it really easy. And I think that white is going to be okay on here. Let's use purple.
And yes, if you're registered.
So we're just doing the same thing we did earlier. I'm using a purple resin to send through our Cricut.
Yep.
And then let's check and see if this is cured. I'm just using the same. Yeah.
So good.
It's already hardened. I love it. It's incredible. It goes so fast. And then I'm just going to take my gloves. We're going to add that top coat. And that really should be it, y'all. That should seal it in.
Yep.
Okay. We're just squeezing.
Look at that.
And this is going to be our top layer. Okay. Take this. Get it eye level. Sometimes you can even take your popsicle stick and kind of scrape it so it's...
That's a good tip.
Yeah, it like smooths it out, especially if you filled it all the way to the top.
Right. I like sometimes even like take it and like kind of like not beat it, but like let it fall on the like to try to level it out, and then use the lighter to like get all the air bubbles out. Yes. I mean, this is a fun craft, y'all. Like this is so good. So good.
I love it. So if you all are going to be, if you all have never tried resin before, I want you to put a heart emoji.
Ooh.
I want to know who is here and has never tried resin. Drop a heart
let
emoji.
Us know.
I would love to know.
We'd love to know.
Okay, and I'm just filling in any holes that might be there. And y'all, if you start and you're like, oh, mine didn't turn out good the first time, y'all, resin is something that you really kind of have to work at. But it's not hard, but they're just things that you have to learn to make it work right. So make sure you're following instructions on the bottle. Make sure you're following these tutorials to a T in order to get the results that you're wanting.
Love it.
Okay, and then we're just going to cure this last layer.
Yay!
While that's curing.
Welcome, Robin Smith. I just joined. Can't wait to learn. Yay!
Welcome. Okay, let's weed our word while we're waiting for that to cure. And I have a ton of dried flowers left over, and like you can buy those on Amazon and Temu and wherever. Okay, we're just gonna weed this. Put some transfer tape over it.
So fun.
I love it. This is kind of like an accent color, so it should stand out pretty good on those pink flowers. Does anyone have questions about resin?
They're dropping.
Okay. And then I'm still using that same transfer tape.
Y'all are awesome. So much fun getting to craft with you guys today.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So we're just gonna peel that off.
Yeah.
And then let's see if it's cured. I don't like to touch it with my hand because it leaves fingerprints.
Would you recommend this as a first-time resin project? Yes, we totally would.
Definitely.
How long does the resin last, shelf life after it's open? Ours lasts forever. I mean, not ever, but like
depending on the brand you buy, sometimes they can like yellow and it's like they last, but they color.
How long would you confidently say?
A year.
A year. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, okay. That should be fully cured. Let's pull it out and see. If for some reason you pull something out of a mold and it's not cured, like I can tell this is a little bendy still, so that's giving not cured to me.
Right.
Like it's still, do you guys see how it's bendy? It's not fully cured. So let's just pop it back in.
Yes.
Just pop it right back in. And we're going to cure it a little bit more, okay?
Ooh.
And it's probably that first layer, to be honest. I may need to take it out and like cure it on the counter because I put that first layer in and then I put those flowers on it. So the UV light's not able to get to the underneath parts of the flowers as easily. So Deb says, I like to dry my own flowers. Yes. Oh my gosh, how fun would that be? Like hand-picked.
Love it.
Dried flowers. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, so much fun.
I love it. So once we pull this out, sometimes there's little ridges, and that's what we're going to use our sandpaper for. We just get this 220 grit sandpaper, and I'll literally just tear off like a little piece.
Not even much at all.
No, it'll like, I mean, you get like, I don't know, like 12 pieces in a pack.
Yeah. So good, love it.
This is what it looks like before I sand it. So it looks a little wonky, okay? It's like the edges are very rigid.
Yes.
And you can see there's like pieces on it. So what we're gonna do is just take this sandpaper and lightly sand our edges. Okay.
Yes, it's looking awesome.
So cute. And then you can add the vinyl and put a layer of resin over top of that as well if you want.
Right.
Also be very aware of sanding the pointy edges. Like this is where it fills in the Stanley cups. You don't want to sand that down.
Right.
But you do want to sand off the excess.
And you use the torch on each layer of the resin. Yeah, someone asked if it's only the first. It's each layer to make sure there's no bubbles or anything like that.
Yes, I used it on every.
So much fun. Can you put the name before the last layer of resin?
Yes,
that's what we'll do.
Yeah, we will. I'm going to put it on there and then we'll just pop it back in the mold.
Yeah.
And then seal it in. So this purple is just what I had in here. I don't know that that's my number one choice. Uh-oh.
I like how you're giving so many options. Like if you just want to make this, you could order, the done for you ones and just add vinyl, things like that.
We wanted to have options because a lot of people don't like to work with resin. It can be very finicky.
Yes. Exactly.
I put my C too close to the edge and now my vinyl's messing up. Please hold. Oh my gosh. You know what? We'll just cut the T off for now.
No worries.
We really cut it off.
Love it. Could you use Maker's Magic to seal vinyl instead of another layer of resin? Janice, you could. That's what I would probably do if I didn't have the resin. If I do have the resin, I would totally use the resin. The resin is just going to cure better, more professional. It's going to give you the better quality look. But it's nice to have other tools in our tool kit. Wendy, we were saying after opened, you would, we would say you have about a year of working time.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So fun.
Okay, so I'm putting like a light layer over the top of this.
So for our tumbler, it's a 40-ounce tumbler. So that's the one we're working with today. Love it.
I'm just gonna push this to the edges, so you really don't need like a thick layer. We're just filling it in.
We're using a 220 sandpaper.
Yes. Beautiful. I feel like everyone's been super pumped about this. I'm loving it. I hope that you all are inspired to try resin. It's just such a fun craft.
Yeah, this is going to be such a great one for you to try resin, guys. So fun.
It's an interesting way
we
to
love
use your
Maker's
Cricut.
Magic as a sealer too. So so much fun.
Okay, and then we will cure that.
Yeah.
I'm going to run the lighter over it.
Yay.
Always get the lighter on it. Is it going?
Always need the lighter.
Always. Usually do like 3 or 4 passes. You really don't need that much. And that's all.
That's so much fun.
Phyllis says the more you work with resin, the easier it is. I 100% agree. Yes, storing it out of light is a very good point. Project is either buying the mold or making it or buy the pre-made. Correct. I wanted to give you guys some different options.
Yes.
Audrey, you could hold the light under the mold. It doesn't go through as strong as like you would think it does, but it does reach it to some extent.
Yeah.
It's not going to cure it as fast as it is with me like putting it right over top.
Will it help to put the lamp underneath the mold?
That's what.
Sorry, yeah, dang it, I was reading the comment and you're reading it too.
Yeah, I think it definitely just put it on top.
Is the flame touching the resin? It can. I mean, it totally can. Like, it's not. You're not gonna burn your resin.
I wish that you can really notice it with casting resin because when you spin it, it gets bubbly, and then when you pour it, there's so many bubbles, and then they pop. Like as you heat it up, they just burst. But UV resin, you don't really have as much of an issue.
Love it. Yeah. Grab it while you can. We'll get you the craft. Alicia.
All done.
Bring the Stanley over real fast.
Oh,
my gosh.
Okay.
Look, guys. I mean, come on.
Should we show them overhead?
Yeah, will you show them overhead and how it doesn't even touch, like, when you're drinking?
Oh my gosh,
like,
it's so cool.
Oh, I love it.
Look, so it's just, isn't that so fun?
Yay!
I love it.
So good.
And it does hover a little bit, but it's like, it looks good still, in my opinion. So cute.
I love that. Yes. I literally love this so much. What did you guys think of today's project?
So we're going, and it's this, first of all, this project is so stinking cute. I mean, you all saw it in the thumbnail, I'm sure. But it is, once you see it in person, it's just so good. And
it turned out so good.
It did. And I can't wait to show you guys exactly how to make this. Now, spoiler alert, we are going to be using three MGL cut files. 2 cut files, 1 MGL font. So,
there you go.
If you are not a member and you want to recreate this, we are still doing the dollar deal right now where you can hop in on our membership for $1. What this is going to do is it's going to give you unlimited access to our website for 7 days. Plus, on top of that, you are going to get 20 download credits. Like, that's nice. 5 cents a download. Tell you're our graphic artist expert. Okay. Where can you find
nowhere
cut files or fonts for 5 cents a piece?
And really nice cut files too.
Extremely nice. And the thing is you can pick and choose if you want 20 fonts. Okay, here's another question. Okay. If you had 20 download credits, would you do a mixture of fonts and cut files, or would you just do all fonts or all cut files?
I have no idea. I think I don't know, because you could use your fonts all the time for all your projects.
I know. Here's my thing. If I got in our website and realized I only could pick 20, I think I would just become a member. I would just immediately become a member, and so I could get access to all of them.
Exactly. 20 is not enough.
No, it's really not. But for those that are still unsure about, do I even like these people? Do I want to learn from these people? Because you know what? We get it. I completely understand. There are some people that I truly can't learn from. I can't, and it's nothing against them. I'm sure they're great people. And I know for a fact that there are people out there that can't learn from me. They're like, geez, she talks around everything and doesn't get to the point fast enough. I get it. But you all can check out our website free for $1. You can check it out for 7 days.
Love it.
Now, I do want to be clear, if you don't cancel within that 7 days, then you will become a monthly member, but monthly membership is still absolutely worth it, 100%. So, let's start talking about the project. I'm not gonna clap. I'm not gonna clap. I'm just gonna do this right here.
No clapping.
Let's go overhead and look at this. Oh my gosh, first of all, let's look at it all together first. Look at the little tag on here. Look, I'm gonna take this out so you guys can see this a lot better, but I wanted to take a minute to look at this tag because, oh my goodness.
That's beautiful.
It's just so cute, like this print and cut. And can we take a minute also to look at this glitter cardstock? Like, look at this color. It's so, I don't know. It's just beautiful. I love it. I'm obsessed. So I want to take this out of the bag. I kind of hate to because I don't want to ruin it, but I want to show you guys what this really looks like up close. So I will take it out right now and then I'll put it back because this is going, I hope she's not watching, but this is going to Asher's teacher. Look how pretty. I'm so obsessed with this. And what I love about this, because the one we're going to be making today, I'm actually going to be making one for his other teacher. His teachers team teach, so he goes back and forth between Miss Collins and Mr. Sandage. So I'm actually going to be making one with Mr. Sandage's name on it. Huh?
It's showing up so nice.
Is it showing up so good? So I'm going to be
Yes.
making one with Mr. Sandage's name on it, but I don't think that even with this glitter, I don't think it's too girly. Personally, I just think it's a cool project. I think that could still be considered, you know, semi-manly. But we'll choose like a different font. We'll choose like a more masculine font for this one. So anyway, let's go over everything that you are going to need for this project. So to start out with, you do need your base. Now, this eraser came from Amazon. It is linked down below. It's just a standard wooden handle eraser. Honestly, guys, this feels so good.
It's nice.
I would much rather have an eraser as a teacher myself. I would much rather have an eraser like this than those plastic Expo ones. I mean, honestly, just the wooden one it's a very nice eraser. So you do need a dry erase eraser. You don't have to do it on this. You can do it on pretty much any surface. As long as you take the techniques that we're going to teach, you can do it on any surface you want. Okay? So you do need your base. We are going to be working with UV resin today. Y'all, J Diction is hands down our favorite UV resin. And let me just tell you, this bottle right here, this still has resin in it, but this big bottle, we have had it, which you all know us, we don't do a ton of resin projects. Maybe if we did a lot more resin projects, it would have kind of gone away faster, but we still have, I'd say half a bottle of this left. And I know we ordered it 1.5 years or more ago. So you don't have to have a lot for this project. And that's what I love about UV resin. And that's really gonna be the secret, is you're gonna do this in thin layers. That's going to give you the absolute best result, is doing it in thin layers and curing every thin layer. So we are using the J Diction UV resin. Of course, with UV resin, you do have to have some type of UV light. You can get the gel nail lights. You can even take it outside if it's a sunny day. If it's sunny, I will not use this light, and I actually take my stuff outside, but you do need a UV light. Now, I know that we're gonna get a question about wattage. So this one specifically, I'm pretty sure is a 10 watt. I would get higher than a 10 watt. I would probably get a 20 or above. That's going to cure it faster, but I think the 10 watt will work. So just keep that in mind. This one specifically is a 10 watt, okay? Next up, for resin, you are going to need some type of gloves. Yes, I do have just one glove, but I'm only gonna be using it on one hand. I'm not gonna touch the resin with my other hand. So we do have gloves to protect yourself. We have some popsicle sticks. This is gonna come in really handy to spread that UV resin out. So we do have tongue dispenser to depress. Is it tongue depressor? It is. Yeah,
Perfect.
Technically. It's a really, in my head, it's a really big popsicle stick.
Yeah, exactly.
We do also have a lighter. What this is going to do, if it works.
Oh, okay.
Aha, there it went. I think it's about out. So what this is going to do is this is going to pop any of the bubbles before you cure, if you do see bubbles. If you want to have a lighter handy, that it really does help. Now, somebody just asked, does UV resin expire? There's not a date on here, so as long as it's still running and it's not cured, I say go for it. Go for it. We do also have cellophane bags. This is just to do the gift wrapping once you're done. And then kind of the star of the show, other than the resin, is going to be our glitters. So we got these glitters from Little Lattes. The shop is linked down below. These are so pretty, and all we did was we mixed them together. So this is a mix of fine and chunky glitter. That's how it came. This is Cocoa, the name of this one. Once again, it is a mix, fine and chunky glitter. This one is Silver Moon. I just love that silver, it's so pretty. And then the last one is Ink. And we did get all of these are all 2-ounce bags from Little Lattes Glitter. They have some amazing glitter. And then for the composition book, this part of the eraser, we are going to be using the Zykoto sticker paper. That's actually a sticker that we've put on there, and we just put resin over. So we are going to be using sticker paper for this project today. And then for the tag, we're just going to be using standard cardstock, glitter cardstock from Celebration Warehouse, and then whatever ribbon you have laying around. Super cute. Now, it does look like there is a lot on the table today, so I don't want you guys to get I don't want you to get overwhelmed just because you see a lot on our table. This project is going to be kind of design space heavy, but also it's pretty, like, I don't know how to say this. There's quite a few steps. So let's just go ahead and hop over to Design Space, hop over to our share screen, and we are going to start the designing process, because this is what is going to take a little bit. And then once that prints and starts cutting, we can start assembling our chalkboard eraser. Here you can see, which I have our sticker blown up way big, just so you guys could see it better. But you see here we have our sticker and we have our cute little tag. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scroll over here and we're gonna start designing here in this area. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to Maker's Gonna Learn, and I am going to grab the files that we need. So the first one that you need is this composition book file. You can find it linked down below, but you can also search our website. It's called Composition Notebook. To download this, what you're going to do is click the arrow pointing down. It's going to come in as a zip file. You're going to double click that folder, unzip it. Now it's unzipped. We're going to go back over to Maker's Gonna Learn and get the rest of the files that we need, and then from there we will start assembling. So the next one that I want to use is the Rockstar Teacher one.
You're a Rockstar Teacher.
So it is now are these new?
No.
Okay. Oh, Rockstar Teacher. I'm just going to search this. Is it not opening it? Oh, there it is.
There it is. So weird.
That is so odd.
What in the world?
That is weird. Okay, so what you're gonna do is we are going to download this one as well. And then we are going to choose a font now. What about the pattern file? We don't need a pattern file for this one. We actually made what looks like the composition book out of glitter. So we don't need that composition book pattern file. So it
looks just like a pattern.
It does look just like a pattern. It does, but we're not gonna use that today. So what I'm going to do, I actually wanna go to our new fonts because there are some really cool ones in there. Like, part of me wants to do this one for Mr. Sandage. But
yeah, that's cute.
Let's just look and see. I kind of like this one.
I do too.
Let's just do that because I feel like it's
varsity school feel.
Varsity school, it's a good one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to download Teammate. I'm going to double click this, and this is to download this font. Here you can see it comes in as an OTF. I'm going to double click that again, and I'm going to install that on my computer. Resolve automatically, good. Now what I'll need to do, once I have downloaded a new font, we are going back to Design Space. Now, first thing you need to do is you need to save. We're going to click Save. And we are going to we're gonna reload Design Space so that Design Space can recognize the new font that we have just installed on our computer, okay? Once we have done that and that has come back up, we're going to scroll over here and we are going to start uploading all of the files that we just downloaded. So I am going to come back over to my Finder. I need the composition PNG because we're not cutting this out of vinyl, so we're just doing the PNG version. Actually, that one, let's do this again. Let's do this one more time. You can do the SVG version of this. And the reason I'm going to do the SVG version is because you can flatten, but we're gonna have to slice some things out of this line because I don't want Mr. Sandage's name to be so tiny. And if you all were here yesterday, you remember that we were having issues slicing if once an offset was added and flattened. So we'll just do the SVG and we'll flatten it together. You can do either or, PNG or SVG for this one. It really doesn't matter because we are gonna have to flatten it all together at some point. So we're just gonna start with the SVG. We're gonna upload that to our library. And the next thing that we need to do is we're going to upload the Rockstar Teacher before I go anywhere, just so I have all of my files in one area. So Rockstar Teacher here, and it is a PNG. So we're just gonna drag and drop that in here. We do want this as a complex file. We're gonna click continue. It does come in with a transparent background. Beautiful, apply and continue. And we do want this as a print and cut, which is a PNG, portable network graphic. Now, just because this is a PNG, you can, if you look over here, you technically could choose it as a cut image and you could cut this out of vinyl if you wanted to. We are not going to today, but just so you are aware, for this specific one, it is possible, okay? So we're gonna choose print and cut image, upload that, and then we are going to add these two to our canvas. Beautiful. And now we're just going to separate them and we will work on them separately. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to put the teacher's name here inside this composition book. So I'm going to pop over here to the text. I'm going to, bring this bad boy over here. We're going to go to our system fonts because we are using a Maker's Gonna Learn font, which is going to be found in your system fonts. And it was Teammate. Beautiful. And now I'm just going to type in Mr. Sandage. Yes, I think that's it. I hope that's it. Oh no. I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay. So I want this to be pretty, like, noticeable.
That's so cute.
I love this.
I love it.
I'm gonna do it down just a little bit because I don't want it as big, but do you see how it's very distracting how that line goes through the middle? Never fear, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna get rid of that, okay? So what we are going to, well, actually there's a couple of ways you can get rid of it, but I want to keep these edge pieces here and I want to keep this middle piece as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an offset. And I'm going to make it a lot smaller than that, first of all. I want it to be like 0.1. Beautiful. And then I'm going to click apply. Now, from this point, I am going to take that offset. You see it's selected over here, the layers panel, it says offset. I'm going to make sure that offset is selected. I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to also select the composition notebook file, okay? Now, once these two are selected, because we can only slice 2 layers at a time, I'm gonna come down here to slice. And then we're gonna have lots of different things going on, right? So, first thing I wanna do is I'm going to get rid of this out there. I'm going to get rid of this one as well, and this one. Now you can see Mr. Sandage's name really, really well through that middle, and those lines are still in there. Now, If you wanted to, if you just wanted that middle line completely gone and you didn't want to go through the process of slicing and deleting and all of that stuff, it is possible. All you're going to have to do is come up here to your file, which now it says slice result because I did slice it, but I'm actually going to rename this real quick, and I'm just going to say composition. That way I know exactly what it is. So you can choose this, come down here to contour, because we did, guys, we did select the SVG version, and this is a good reason why you can select a good reason to select the SVG version is you can actually just contour these little pieces out if you wanted to. And then it's gone. So it's possible. But me personally, I don't like the looks of that. I like the looks of that line going through there. So I'm going to go back to contour and I'm going to hide and then we'll show again because I want all of them to be there. I just think it looks more complete to me. So now that we have done that, one thing you do also need to do if you want your letters to be black, y'all know if you've been in Design Space that when you pull in a text, it's not a true black. It's actually a dark gray. So I'm going to change the letters to black so that it is all black. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this file and I'm going to add an offset. Now this one I want there to be a pretty good offset, so we're going to go with 0.2. We'll see what 0.2 looks like. We're going to go with a 0.25. Let's see what that looks like. Beautiful. And from there, we're going to hit apply. Now, once again, you're like, Lauren, you're losing me. You're losing me. I don't understand. This looks weird. Just like with the contour feature before, what we're going to do with this offset selected, we're going to go to contour and we're going to hide all contours, meaning that's going to make it a perfect outline or a perfect shape for this file. And now you can see, here it is. It's gray. We need to change it to white. And we also need to move it all the way to the back. But y'all, look at that now.
Looks nice.
So nice.
So clean.
Yes.
Crisp.
So fresh and so clean, clean. So we're still not done because what is going to happen if I go to make it now? If I wanted to print this and I went to make it, tell me what's going to happen. Anybody? Oh, me, I'll tell you. It's going to be everywhere. And it's not going to print because we have to turn this basic cut file into a print and cut. How you're going to do that, you're going to start with your mouse up here in the top corner. You're going to click and you're going to drag this bounding box all the way around it so that everything is selected, and you can tell that from what is highlighted on the right side of your screen, okay? So from there, with all 3 layers selected, we are going to come down here to the bottom and we're going to hit flatten. Now do you see how it put it in 1 layer? It has just flattened that image from 3 layers into 1, kind of compressed it a little bit. Yes, we are getting a little red arrow. It is because it is very large right now. We will size that here in just a second. But we have now flattened this cut file and turned it into a PNG. That way we can print it on our printer. So, next thing that you need to do is size your sticker. So what I highly suggest, bringing in your blank, whether it's an eraser, a chalkboard eraser, or whatever you're putting it on, bring it in and we are going to measure our blank. So we're looking at, it's between 5 and 3, it's actually 5 and 7/8 by, it's such an odd measurement. We're gonna go 1.5. We're actually gonna go 6 by 1, okay? Did I say 1 or 1.5? It's 1.5. Now that I've said it out loud. Yeah, it's 1.5. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a shape. We're just gonna do a rectangle, is fine. And we are going to unlock it our height is actually pretty much where it needs to be, but our width needs to be 6. So this is going to be a representation of your eraser or of your blank. So what I need to do now is I'm actually going to move this back behind our sticker, our composition sticker, and I'm going to size this down to where it will fit beautifully in the middle of our blank. Now, this is where you can make it as large or as small as you want, depending on how much glitter you want there to be. I think this is a really good size, so we're just going to leave it like that. And now we need to build our tag to go with our little gift wrapping. So first thing that you need to do, and actually we're gonna go back to Maker's Gonna Learn. We're gonna go to cut files because the shape that was used for, so let me find, where's the little taggy tag? Okay, this can be found in Cricut Design Space. That scallop edge can be found, and I'll show you where you can find it. So if you go back to shapes, it can be found here, but guess what? That's a Cricut Access file. So we want to use a Maker's Gonna Learn file. So did you guys know that if you go to Maker's Gonna Learn, if you look at the name of what is in Cricut Access, so like this one is Sun Silhouette, this one is Segmental Arch, the one we're wanting is Scalloped Circle. If you go back to Maker's Gonna Learn and you type in Scalloped Circle, look at what pops up.
Wow.
We have it. We have it, so you don't have to have Cricut Access. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unzip that. We're gonna pop back over to Cricut Access, or Cricut Design Space, excuse me. And we are gonna upload that scalloped circle. Once again, I like to work with an SVG when at all possible because I can change the color and really make it my own and then flatten it. So I chose the SVG version. We're gonna upload that and add it to our canvas. Once it is in there, we are going to size it pretty much based on however big you want it to be. So I think in comparison to our eraser, whoa. Okay, we're back. In comparison to our eraser, I feel like this is a pretty good size tag. So I'm gonna change the color to white. You guys can change it to literally whatever color you want. You don't have to do white. You could do like a really cute, like very pale pink would be cute. Like, let's move this up. There's so many different routes you can go with this, but we're just gonna stick with white today. So what you're gonna do is you're then going to size your little saying here to fit within your tag. And I'm gonna move it down a little bit, and the reason I'm gonna move it down is because I want to add a circle up here so that I can go ahead and put my ribbon through it. This is something that you can do if you want to. It's not necessary. You can just use a hole punch. A lot of times I will just use a hole punch because it's just faster than having to slice and everything else. But if you want to, you can add a hole here and slice through it. And I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm actually gonna we'll size it down just a little. I'm gonna leave it there for right now because we're gonna have to slice through two different things because if you remember, we have an offset and we have stacked cardstock on top of a really pretty, like a lavender pinky glitter cardstock. So what we're gonna do first, before we flatten everything together and slice, I'm going to take our scalloped circle and I'm going to add an offset. You can choose how large or how small you want your offset to be. I think I wanna do, Let's try 0.1. If you go too much with this scallops, you kind of lose the integrity of the scallops. So a 0.1 for this one is really, really good. So we're just gonna click apply. We're gonna leave it black for the time being. And we're gonna take this circle before I flatten, because remember guys, when we flattened yesterday and trying to slice through an already flattened image was not working for some reason. So before I flatten, I'm choosing my circle here and my scallop circle here. By clicking on this, it will turn it green and select it on your canvas. And then I'm going to scroll down, hit the shift key on my keyboard and click the scallop circle. So now you can see they're both green. From there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the slice function. Now, without moving, we are going to take that same circle that we just used to slice the white, and we are going to select it. We're going to scroll down to where it says offset. Once again, with our shift key held down, we're going to select our offset as well and hit slice again. What that is going to do is we can now get rid of this slice result, and this guy. And you can see when we move this back to the front, and we'll move this back to the front, that circle is all the way through and it's perfectly aligned. That's why we're gonna slice out our circles before flattening our image to our white first layer, okay? So now that we have our circles sliced, we're going to select the You Are a Rockstar Teacher, and down here with the white scallop circle, we're going to press the shift key, select that slice result, the white scallop circle, and we are going to flatten them together. And that is all the design space.
Nice.
That was a lot of design space. So now what I can do, back in design space, we're gonna get rid of our piece that was as a placeholder for, we're gonna get rid of that. And I'm actually going to hide all of these over here because I don't need them now. I'm just working with these. Stacy said the circle needs to be centered. I actually wanted to place it. It's not completely centered, but watch if you do this and you rotate it, it looks pretty centered. Mm-hmm. That's the cool thing about a circle is I would center it on a scallop. If you're doing this and to put your ribbon through, I would actually center it on a scallop, not on the center of this, because if you put it where that scallop comes together, you just don't have room. You don't have as much room, and it's not like it's that noticeable. Yeah, it's a little off. Yes, us as perfectionists, as crafting perfectionists, will see that. If you're really concerned about it, we'll just, oh darn it. Watch, we can do this. We can rotate this to where it's perfectly straight. And then what you can do is you can unflatten this, choose this, and rotate this way. And then you're good to go. Now we'll flatten these back together. It's that simple. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Diane says, wow, I'm in overload. Yes, Diane, this can be overload, especially if you are not used to the functions. So like I said, go back and rewatch. It's not a problem, not a problem. Karen, would you want to change the scallop color instead of using black? No, because it really doesn't matter. All that is it's going to separate it onto a different mat. It doesn't matter what color it is on the canvas. It only matters what color you put on your mat to cut on your Cricut. A lot of times we just like color coordinating things so we know what goes where. But I know that black offset is going to be cut out of the glitter cardstock. So I don't have to go change it unless I want to. And I really just don't feel like it right now. So back to, we're finishing up in design space. I promise. So now that we've done all of this, we're gonna go to make it, okay? Now, this is actually on, because it is flattened, it is a print and cut. So what we might have to do is go back, and we're probably gonna have to hide this first, print this on sticker paper, and then we'll come back and unhide this and print it on actual cardstock here in a minute, okay? So we're gonna go back to make it. We're just doing the sticker. Now, if I were doing this, do you need a piece of sticker paper, or do you already have some there? Beautiful. If I were doing this myself, I would do these in bulk and actually do a lot and not just one at a time. So I'm going to click continue. We are going to send this to printer. We are using the Canon TS9500 series. You don't need bleed on this one because it does have a white edge, but we always use system dialog. So we're gonna click print. It pulls up behind design space. Actually, I could leave it on black and white technically because this is black and white. We'll just change it to color so that it doesn't happen to us before. We are feeding this from rear tray. I like to change it personally. Y'all know me, this is a personal preference. Not everybody does this. I like to change it to photo just because I feel like I get the best print and then quality best. Now, that is going to print. While that prints, we can get started assembling our little guy. So, first thing that you need to do is you need to mix your glitters. Now, we did this about a pretty even amount. What? You didn't do as much. Oh, okay.
I was really easy on the black.
JK, MK said she didn't do as much black. She did more silver and white, and she was very easy on the black. So that may be something you all want to take into consideration, is just kind of be a little bit more easy on the black, because I can see it can take over the colors pretty easily. So we've got this here. What we are going to do is we are going to start with a layer of resin. Yes, if you printed it on a sticker, I could just stick it to the glitter cardstock, but I love how this has dimension. So that's why I personally like a stacked cardstock. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a layer of resin, a very thin layer of resin on here first, and before we cure, we are going to bring in the glitter, and we're just gonna like sprinkle the glitter in there, and then we're gonna cure it, okay? So, it doesn't take a lot, and I'm just gonna do it like this first, and then I'm gonna come in with the tongue depressor, giant popsicle stick, whatever you wanna call it, and we're going to spread it out. Now this also will help with bubbles, and it is self-layering, so if you give it some time, it will layer itself if you don't feel like it's even enough. But we just want to make sure that we coat the whole thing right now. No, I don't have on gloves at the moment, but I'm also not touching it. So,
I love the giant popsicle stick. I feel like it could cover more surface area at a time instead of those little ones.
yes.
I feel like it just got more bang for my buck with all that.
I do love
Smoothing.
especially for this project specifically. Now, one thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna get it up to this edge. Sadie, can they see pretty good? I don't want to pick it up and like show you guys because it really is, it needs to stay level so that it can self-level. But I'm just gonna kind of tap it up against this edge. But the good thing about this is if you do go over the edge, it's not a big deal. You can just wipe it off before you cure it. And you can look at it from the side and see if there are places that still need smoothing out. I'm just gonna lay this over here. And I think I'm just gonna, so if you all have baked a lot, you know that when you're baking a cake, you kind of pick up your pan and smack it down on the thing and it levels it out? I'm gonna do that with this. So now that that is pretty level, okay, the stick is called a craft stick. In a doctor's office, it's called a tongue depressor. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our glitter. One thing I am going to do, nah. Is there a piece of paper over there that you can grab me? Yeah. There's one right there. I'm gonna stick it under this, that way I can funnel this back in there. Beautiful. Now all I have to do is start adding my glitter. One thing you do want to do is make sure that you're not, if it is kind of thick, you don't want it to be like the glitter to be super thick, because we do also have to spread that out and make it pretty even. And if you have glitter sticking off the edges, I highly suggest just coming in here and kind of pushing it back in the resin like this. That way there's no like harsh edges when you go to now.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now I'm gonna plug my light up. Oh goodness. And we're gonna start the curing process. Okay.
But seriously, $7?
I know, $7. What? You can't beat it.
That's so awesome.
This looks so good already. So that's cured. We're gonna dump this back in this guy. And then let's move some of this glitter out of the way. Now, what we are going to do is we're gonna add another layer of resin over top of this, and it's gonna be very thin. And this is just because I'm actually gonna take these little pieces of glitter that's hanging off the edge, I'm gonna take those off. Okay, I'm just gonna add one more small layer of resin, just because when I put my sticker down, I want it to be on a very smooth surface. So once again, probably even thinner than the other one. I'm just gonna put this on. We're gonna take our craft stick and we're gonna smooth this guy out. And one thing I do like is, if you don't know if it's gonna be enough, I always say do less to start with, and if you think you need more, add more. You can always add more, but it's so much harder to take it away. I do have to be careful though. Let me cure this and then I'll show you another close up, because I don't want it to spill over. We're gonna cure this. So now is a good time for more.
But that's great. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, and this is the trick. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut, I'm gonna take my glove back off and we're gonna cut our sticker that I've not done yet, that I could have been doing while I cured the resin, but I didn't because I forgot. So let's go back and let's try this again. We are going to add our sticker paper. Let's move this and I'll put this in view so you guys can see. We're gonna add our sticker paper to our mat, just like that. We are using this printable sticker paper. We're doing the green liner because that's just the one that I picked. So that was the quickest one there. And we're gonna load this. I'm gonna move my Star Wheels first. I moved my Star Wheels yesterday for a video. So let me move them back really fast. I used to never use my Star Wheels, and now it's like I can't live without them. Okay, now I'll show you the glitter.
Beautiful.
Now, what the F said, okay, I'm not counting glitter, crazy face, but every time I use black, it overpowers. That is a very good thing to point out, and that is because one thing that MK said that she did is when you are mixing your glitters, I would think, this is just my thoughts, is you do 40% white, 40% silver, 20% black. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
you're not doing
Equal,
half and half.
Equal of the lighter colors. and
Equal
then-
parts of
yeah.
the lighter colors. So your mixture is going to be, let's say, we do it in tablespoons. I don't know. And science.
That's awesome.
Okay. So here is the secret sauce when you are putting stickers on your resin. So you want to start out with a very smooth surface, which we have done. So ensure that you have a smooth surface. What we're going to do is we're going to put our sticker on here, just like this. Now, I'm going to put my glove on. And what we're going to do is we're going to put just the tiniest bit of resin here, and we're going to take our finger and we're going to move it around and seal in the edges of this sticker and then cure it, and then we'll do our final top layer. This is the secret sauce. So you can either put it on your finger, you can put it on the sticker, whichever you prefer, but we're going to just take a little bit here and we're going to rub it on the edges and all over our sticker. Just sealing that in with a very thin layer to make it look like it was completely made in this project. So now that we have sealed in those edges, I'm going to grab my light and I'm going to cure that real quick. Now, this will not take very long to cure because it is so thin. Did we get the checkout page fixed? Okay. It's still just a smidgen sticky, but it's okay. We're just gonna go with it and add our last layer of resin. So in total, once we're done, this is going to have 1, 2, we'll call that a half layer. It's gonna have 3.5 layers. Yes. And I can already tell, oh, I got some on the side. So it shouldn't bother the glitter because most of it is encased
Exactly. It's already
in
sealed.
resin already. Lord, we don't need I don't need to catch this studio on fire again. We don't need that, guys. We sure darn don't. So once again, I'm just using my craft stick to move it over to the sides, to the edges, fill in all the little holes that we have. And y'all, after this, my teacher gifts are gonna be done.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Nice.
I'm really trying to get to these edges right now, honestly. I just want to make my edges really nice. The key to this, like I said at the first of this live, the key is patience, guys. It really is. It's just having patience to work with resin.
Now I did get some over here. It's like spilling over the side over here, so I'm just gonna take I'm just gonna wipe that off right there. And wipe that off. And it's starting to spill right here. I'm just gonna do that and that. Oh, and it's trying it on this side too. We might need to hurry and cure it. Ah, I got it too close to the edge. Let me cure that part real quick before it goes anywhere. Stop in your tracks. You can also, if you are concerned about using a lighter on it, you can also take a toothpick and just kind of poke and pop if you want to. Oh, I guess we could be cutting and printing. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Let's go here to this one. We're doing glitter cardstock. Let me take my glove off now that I'm not going to be touching that. Because I'm not going to print just yet. I'm going to cut this one and then I'll send it to the printer to cut the other one. I am going to save that piece of sticker paper to reuse it.
Hold the light.
First of all, trying to load a mat with your non-dominant hand while you hold a light with the other one, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but we're making do.
We sure are.
Michelle says, sorry I'm late, Elle. I was napping. Girl, I wish I was napping too. I'm jealous. Jelly. Because your girl didn't sleep last night. Your girl didn't sleep.
That purple is so pretty.
I'm obsessed. I mean, it's not a very manly color, but I don't care. Glitter cardstock. Done. Go. Also, I noticed that I do have a bubble on top of this sticker, and it's about to drive me batty. Batty. Because it wouldn't come out. Anyway. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now, while we're holding this, we'll unload this. I've at least switched to my dominant hand being the one that's working. I will say that. I've at least switched to using my right hand to unload the mat.
One-man band.
Okay, now we're gonna unflatten this guy. We're gonna hide him, and we actually don't need this guy. So we're gonna go to make it. Is there cardstock in the printer?
Yep.
Beautiful. Continue. Send to printer. Once again, don't need bleed. System dialog. Print. Here. Color. Rear tray. Photo best. Done. Okay. Actually, it's done now. It's done. Okay, so we're gonna, I feel like I have a mess on this table, guys.
A lot of components.
I ain't gonna lie.
There's a lot going on.
No lies to tell. I have a crafting mess. We are doing this on medium cardstock. This time number one, having patience. I'm gonna say it 20 times. Having patience, and then on top of that, wow, I made that aggressively smaller.
Perfect.
Having patience, number one. Number two, thin layers. I really think that's the key, is thin layers and curing each individual layer. Oh, I did load the mat backwards, and it's okay. Did you guys know? Fun fact, did you know that you don't just have to use your mat with this at the top? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
You can flip it upside down because a lot of times
it gets more wear.
This gets more wear, like this top, a little overhead.
Right.
So a lot of times what happens is this top right corner gets so much wear that it's not sticky anymore.
Right.
You can flip it over and use this side too.
Boom. Now, is it just with that brand?
No, or it's with any mat.
Any mat.
Any mat.
That's awesome.
Yep, you can flip them around. So now we're just lining up this here, like that. Beautiful. From there, you just gonna grab your cellophane bag, pop your eraser down in there. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do the other one because this one I still need to take it outside and cure for a little bit longer, I think. It's kind of sticking. Pop that in. Grab you some markers, because what teacher doesn't love new expo markers? You would then tie your ribbon around here. I did put those together with foam squares, just in case you all didn't know, okay? And then from there, you are just going to make your ribbon, and we'll flick this guy around like that. and tie it on. And that's it. How stinking cute. I mean, are you
That's
kidding?
so awesome.
Look at that. How cute. I love it.
Beautiful.
What do you guys think? Look, aren't you proud?
Yes. Love it.
I do think I need to sand the edges. There's a couple spots over here, and it's not completely finished.
Just a little tacky.
Just a little tacky. I think once it sits and I'm going to put it outside in the sun, it's going to be perfect. It's just a
needs a
time
minute.
constraint.
It just needs a minute.
Yes.